Hey Scotty, today I'll be talking about coaching children under the age of 12. This podcast will be outlining the problems children under the age of 12 and younger can encounter, such as the psychological and social behavioral issues, common injuries that children will face in a contact sport, such participating in physical activity, sports that are suitable and not suitable for children, safety, and statistics. I will firstly talk about the psychological and social problems. Psychological problems that children can experience are anxiety disorders, autism spectrum disorder, or known as ASD, mood disorders, and lastly ADHD. Many psychological disorders are firstly diagnosed in children. This is mainly involved with genetic components. However, there are many other psychological disorders found in children that can be identified in early life, such as oppositional defiant disorder, ODD, conduct disorder, CD, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or mostly known as ADHD. Around 1 in 10 children the age of 12 years are thought to have ODD. Some of the typical behaviors of a child with ODD include easily angered/annoyed or irritated, refuses to obey rules, low self-esteem, argues with adults, and seek to blame others for any trouble. CD. Around 5% of children under 12 have conduct disorder. Some of the typical behavior of a child with CD may include keenness to start physical fights, frequent lying, aggressiveness, disrespectful, refuse to obey orders, or repeated taunting. Around 2 to 5% of children are thought to have ADHD. The characteristics of ADHD can include inattention, being difficult concentrating, forgetting instructions, impulsivity, talking over the top of others, have a short fuse, and lastly, overactivity, constant restlessness, and a lot of fidgeting. The causes of OCD, CD, and ADHD are unknown, but some of the risks may include gender, family life, learning difficulty, brain development, temperament, and intellectual disabilities. Social problems is most seen in ADHD. ADHD can make it difficult for children to concentrate and pay attention in school. ADHD can impact social skills such as making new friends, being interruptive, and not noticing their behavior affects other people. Losing friends, being very intense and demanding without realizing, and difficulty taking turns. Conversations. A child with ADHD can easily be distracted, misinterpret what others are saying, and can easily lose a conversation. Self control, being they might lash out physically when they are upset or meltdowns. And lastly, reliability. Kids with ADHD can have trouble with planning and following through. This may cause other kids to think they can't be counted on when keeping on a secret or doing a group project. Statistics. Approximately 5 to 10% of Australian children are diagnosed with ADHD, aged between 4 to 11 years of age. The overall estimate for children being diagnosed with ADHD can continue to vary depending how it is measured. The diagnosis of ADHD must be made by a trained and experienced health profession, using information from both family and school. The common symptoms can be having a hard time paying attention to simple details and a tendency to make careless mistakes. Competitions. Children aged between 2 to 5 years of age are beginners to learn any movements, but children this age are required unstructured free-to-play activities such as running, throwing, catching, swimming. Children aged between 6 to 9 years of age are better following instructions. Attention spans and skills such as throwing distance and impaired consider sports such as running, athletics, soccer, basketball, gymnastics, and martial arts/karate. Children aged between 10 to 12 have a mature vision and the ability to understand and recall sports strategies. Complex skilled sports such as football, basketball, hockey, and volleyball. Very little children aged 10 to 12 can participate in contact sports, considering their age or his or her maturity level and physical size. The physical contact aggressiveness and competition appropriate for the child must also be suitable. Now I'll be talking about common injuries. Sprains. A sprain is an injury to a ligament. It is a tissue that connects two bones at a joint and prevents more movement of the joint. The most common sprain injury for children are ankle sprains. It happens when one or more ligament in the ankle gets overly stretched or torn. Ankle sprains happen when performing a rapid/movement. Sprains are commonly seen in sports such as soccer, basketball, and football. To prevent any further injury to any to the ankle can be reducing their intensity, avoiding gutters and potholes, and stretching before exercising. Strains. The most common injuries for children are strains. The strain injury, it is an injury to a muscle or tendon. It is a tissue that connects the muscle to the bone. The most common strain injury are hamstring strains. Strains occur once the muscle is forcefully contracted or suddenly stretched. Injuries is common seen in sports like basketball, gymnastics, track and field, and football. To prevent any further injuries, warming up and stretching before exercise and consuming a lot of water will help. The signs and symptoms for a strain is usually pain, swelling, bruising, cramping, and muscle spasm. And lastly, not being able to move or use the joint. Growth plate injuries. Growth plates are located in the areas of a growing tissue, near the end of the long bone, located in the legs and arms. The growth plate, also known as the cyst or epiphysis, is the production of new bone tissue. Growth plate injuries is found common in children. If a child has a serious injury to a joint, it is more likely to damage the growth plate than the ligament itself. Growth plates are made up of cartilage. It is a flexible, rubbery material, and if it is damaged, it will lead to a deformed or misshapen bone. Lastly, I'll be talking about safety considerations. Safety considerations for children can be being well hydrated at all times, stretch and warm up before exercise is performed, also making sure the surroundings are safe, for example, removing any equipment that is not suitable or dangerous, such as broken glass bottles, fruits, rubbish, or any sharp materials lying around. Another safety consideration can also be making sure the weather is not rainy or the ground is not wet. Being safe to run on and exercise on. Thank you, Scotty. I hope you enjoyed my podcast and thank you for listening. Bye.